Welcome to your Pilates for tight lower body muscles. We are going to be focusing particularly on the hamstrings and the quads with a few activations in between. Let's get ready for a fun mobility flow. We are going to be starting seated at the back of our mats, and I want you to just crisscross your legs in front of you. I want you to lengthen that spine. Let's take a deep inhale, and as we're exhale, we're reaching our arms up towards the sky, lengthening that body as much as you can. Let's inhale, exhale, bringing that chest down towards the floor as you bring your arms reaching as far as you can onto the mat, extending those arms and that spine. Let's take a deep inhale, exhale, reaching forward, then up, extending your arms around and behind you, and then lifting those hips all the way up towards the sky and slowly back down. And we're going to do 3 of these in a beautiful flow, inhaling and exhaling as we're working, really trying to make sure that when you reach forward that you're keeping those sit bones, those glute muscles on the mat, which will just maybe intensify that stretch into those glutes and lower back for you. Reaching forward as far as you can, lifting all the way back up and lifting those hips. Let's do 1 more deep inhale, exhale, coming down, inhale, reaching those arms, exhaling, extending them forward and extending out in front of you, and slowly staying in this position. We're going to come all the way onto our all fours position, and from here we're going to extend that right leg into a Superman hold as we extend that left arm, keeping that core tight. We are going to do little circles with that foot as you maintain that stability for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and changing direction. 10, 9, keeping that ankle flex. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and little pulsations up and down for 10, 9, 8, keeping that core tight. 7, 6, hips aligned. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's extend, lengthen those limbs as you take that left hand, bending that right knee and extending. We want to try and lift that foot up towards the ceiling as we hold. Just inhaling and exhaling, holding this pose, activating that right glute as you draw that foot up towards the ceiling, keeping that core tight, keeping that stability. And I want you to try and grab a little bit more into your ankle now and lift a little bit higher if you can, and slowly coming all the way back down into that Superman hold. Now bringing those limbs out to the side, flexing that ankle, and let's hold, keeping that core tight, activating those glutes. Keep working. Let's go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back down, keeping that leg up, dropping that arm and lifting straight into 3-legged downward dog, extending that leg all the way up towards the sky. Keep holding. Deep breath in and tucking that right knee back in front of you, and we're going to go straight into that pigeon pose, opening that chest, looking up towards the sky. Allow that stretch. Deep breath in, exhale, slowly bringing that chest all the way back down. Now tucking in that chin as you push your back up to the sky. And for every rep of this movement, try and just fall deeper into that stretch. So we're opening that chest, lifting up towards the sky, and then going all the way back down as we tuck that chin in, pushing that spine up towards the ceiling. And let's do 1 more all the way down, lifting back up. Now we're going to stay with our chest looking up towards the sky, and if you can, we're going to bend that left knee, and I want you to slowly grab your left ankle with that right hand, rotating that spine. If you need to, you can just bend that knee in a little bit more as you grab that back heel and bring it towards that glute. So let's just hold this pose a little bit. If you want a deeper stretch, you can lean more into that right hip. Just make sure you're not going beyond what your body can manage. Just go as far as you can feel a stretch that is going to be effective in releasing those tight joints. Slowly lifting that arm up and over, bringing it back onto the mat. Let's lift ourselves up into a front support position. So we're lifting that right leg up, and we're just going to go straight into a single leg front support hold, just allowing that activation, breathing in deeply. Keep going, and let's go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lifting yourself back up into three-legged downward dog, and slowly bringing that right leg into all fours as you also bend that left leg, leaning back into rest position, pushing those shoulders into the ground. Let's lift up, bringing left leg off the mat and right arm into that Superman hold, flexing that left ankle and doing little circles for 10, 9, 8, keeping core tight, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Try and get those circles big. If you want more of a challenge, just change direction. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep trying to keep beautiful circles going as you're working. Now back to center and little pulsations. Try not to hyperextend that lower back. You want to suck in. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly bending that left knee as you grab that ankle with your right hand, lifting those toes up towards the sky, looking straight down in front of you, and allow that stability. Hips are aligned as you open those hips, bringing those quads up towards the ceiling. And slowly lowering that hand towards that ankle as you try and lift a little bit higher. Now extending that left leg, right arm, and bringing those limbs out to the side, keeping core tight. I want you to try and get your ankle in line with your hip, keeping core tight and holding this pose. Let's go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeping that leg where it is, dropping that right arm, tucking your right toes in under your feet as you lift up straight into three-legged downward dog, and holding here. Allow that stretch all the way down the back of your right leg. Deep breath in. Exhale, bending that left foot out in front of you as you lean straight into that pigeon pose. And if you need to, like I said, find that posture that your body allows you to maintain. Let's take a deep inhale. Exhale, slowly dropping that chest towards the floor as you push that spine all the way up. And coming all the way back down as you open that chest towards the sky. Chest to floor, tucking in chin, spine to ceiling. And again, for every movement that you're doing now, I want you to try and push deeper into that pelvis, keeping that chest facing up towards the sky. Let's bend that right knee and bringing that left arm up and behind you, grabbing that ankle if you can, and just keeping that pelvis facing forward and drawing that hip into the ground, and just turning also to look over your shoulder if you want to increase that intensity of that stretch. So this one you should be getting, depending on where you're most tight, a nice beautiful stretch into that right quad and a little bit into that groin and those glutes. Let's slowly bring that arm back onto the mat and lifting straight up into one-legged plank, extending that left leg up off the floor, and we're just going to hold deep breaths, looking straight down in front of you, chin and neck in neutral. Let's keep working, trying not to slant too much to one side, and slowly dropping that left leg down and leaning straight down into downward dog. I want you to just start with the heels off the floor as you draw your head through those arms, sternum to floor, rotating that tailbone towards the ceiling to intensify that stretch. Now slowly bending that right knee as you draw that left heel into the ground. We're just going to hold here, pushing those arms into the mat as you draw your head through those arms. And slowly bending that left knee as you draw that right heel into the back of the mat. And just holding. Now pushing both heels into the ground. Just allow those hamstrings to release and into those calves. And for every breath, just pushing a little bit deeper into that stretch. Now slowly coming forward into front support position. We're going to bend right knee and left knee, leaning back into rest position for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back up. We're going to tuck our toes in under our feet, lifting and hovering those knees off the floor. And we're going to open those knees away from each other, then lift up into a really tight downward dog, then back down. That's the movement, opening those knees, lifting back up into tight. Really hands and feet are a little bit closer towards each other, which means you're gonna have to get a deeper stretch into those hamstrings. And lifting up, keeping that core tight, opening those hips and lifting up. And last one, lifting all the way up and slowly walking those feet towards those hands, and we're just going to hold here. Slowly now walking those hands towards the feet. Now we're just in a forward bend position in the center of our mats. Let's just allow our bodies to stretch out. Let that top part of your body feel heavy as you lengthen and draw closer towards the ground. Let's grab our ankles if we can and just drawing a little bit more. Deep breaths. Now placing those hands back on that mat, walking yourself a little bit more away from those feet and slowly walking those feet 2 steps back, coming back into that fury hold position. We're going to lift that right leg up off the mat, bend it through and opening that hip, lengthening and extending, then coming back to do that same thing with that other leg. So again, opening those hips, you should feel a stretch into that hip area and into those quads, lengthening and extending as you're going. And let's do one more. Coming back to center, and we're just going to hold in this position for Few moments, deep breaths, breathing in, allowing those lungs to fill. And now slowly jumping your feet between your hands and leaning into a seated position. I want you to extend your arms out in front of you, tucking in head, neck, and chest, reaching towards that chest, towards your knees as you extend that spine as far as you can. Deep breath in, exhale, rolling yourself back up. Deep breath in, exhale, tucking in and rolling, extending. I want you to flex those ankles as you draw those knees into the mat. Deep breath in, exhale, reaching forward. And last one, stacking, inhaling, exhale, reaching forward. Keeping your hip angle where it is, I want you to extend that back now and reach a little bit more forward. This is going to deepen the stretch into that hamstring. Keeping arms up next to those ears and holding, pushing those heels into the ground. Let's take some deep inhales as we hold this pose. Keep holding and slowly reaching forward into a deep spine stretch, forward fold. Just gonna hold here. Now we've grabbed our feet with our hands, keeping our left hand on our left foot. We're slowly going to roll up as we bend that left foot and tucking it in to our groin area. And lifting arms up towards the sky, we're going to reach forward and rolling ourselves back up. We're going to do 3 of these, reaching forward, flexing that ankle, lifting arms up and forward, and now slowly lifting arms back up towards the ceiling, placing those hands behind you, bending that right foot, placing that foot on the mat. We're going to place both feet next to each other, about a fist distance away from each other. Let's lift those hips up towards the sky as you open that chest towards the ceiling, and slowly coming back down and lifting up. Deep breath in, sucking in that belly. Just allowing those quads and those shoulders and that hip area just to stretch out with this movement, looking up towards the sky and slowly coming back down. Now tucking in that right foot into that left groin as you extend your left hand, lifting arms up and over towards the ceiling, then bringing them towards that left ankle and lifting back up. Deep breaths as we're working, pushing those heels into the ground as well as those knees with that flexed ankle. Up towards the sky and reaching. And last one, I want you to hold this pose just for a few seconds, allowing that stretch to go deep into that hamstring. Now slowly coming back up, keeping those arms extended up towards the sky as we extend both legs. Deep breath in, keeping those ankles flexed, knees and ankles in line with each other. Again, we're just going to hold here. I want you to grab your toes and just draw your toes towards your nose as you lean in towards those knees. Now slowly lifting those arms up and behind you, fingers facing your body. We're going to lift up and extend those hips up towards the sky as you look up towards the ceiling. Deep breath in, exhale to lower, exhale up, inhale lower. And we're going to do 4 more of these. Keep going. Lifting up, looking up towards the sky. Let's hold. Deep breaths, sucking in belly, keeping core tight, activating those glutes. Dropping those legs down and lowering yourself all the way down into a lying down position, supine position in the center of your mat. Let's lift those hips up towards the sky, 1 vertebra at a time. Let's lift right leg off the floor, extending it, and we're slowly going to lower and lift that leg, and we are flexing and extending that ankle as we're going, leading through those heels, so you're getting a beautiful stretch in that right hamstring as you stabilize with that left hamstring and glute. And let's do 3 more. Last one. And coming back up, keeping that leg up towards the sky. We're going to do little pulsations with that stabilizing leg for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping that right leg down, lifting that left leg up, extending it up towards the sky, and lowering that leg down and up. Keep going. Try and get a good range of motion with that left leg while you maintain beautiful stability with that right. Inhaling and exhaling. Very nice, everybody. Keep going. Let's do 3 more. And keeping that leg up. And little pulsations with that right glute for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bending that leg, dropping it all the way down onto the mat, lifting those hips. Just slowly roll yourself back down, extending left leg off the mat, lifting that right leg up towards the sky, interlacing your hands behind your head, lifting head, neck, and chest off the floor, grabbing the back of your right calf, preparing to switch over. We're going to take a deep breath in, exhale, changing over, and it's just 2 pulses with those arms drawing each leg towards your chest as you're working. I want you to keep those toes pointed, keeping those legs nice and straight, and staying here, keeping that leg straight, hovering that left leg off the floor. We're just going to hold, keeping core tight, so we're activating our core, stretching that right hamstring while we keep that left leg hovering off the floor. We're just going to hold for another few seconds. Now slowly changing over to hold with that left leg for a few seconds as you hover that right leg just off the mat. Keep holding, pointing those toes. Now slowly lifting both legs up towards the sky, interlacing your hands behind your head, bending those legs into tabletop, and we're going straight into bicycle crunches. And you're just rotating at the level of that waist as you draw left rib towards right knee and right rib towards left knee. And let's go for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bringing those legs back up, hugging those knees towards your chest. Last little movement of the day, we're placing our feet back onto the mat, lifting yourselves up, and I want you to go where you feel comfortable, either with your elbows on the mat or with your hands on the mat. We're going to place our feet slightly larger than shoulder width apart, and we're just rocking our knees from left to right. And if you want a deeper stretch, I would recommend that you lift yourself up off the mat, lifting those glutes, And again, you're just dropping that inner part of your knee towards that mat, and keeping, very important that you keep your pelvis tucked in so that you can get a stretch into those front parts of those quads. Finishing off, we're dropping our glutes down, dropping that right knee into the center of the mat, and grabbing that right heel towards your glute as you extend your left leg, and you're just going to lean back as far as you can onto those elbows, allowing that stretch. And again, you might not be able to bend your knee as much. Just go where you feel comfortable. Just again, remember to tuck in that pubic bone and almost push those hips up towards the ceiling as you activate your glutes. Let's hold this pose for a few more seconds. Now slowly extending that leg out. Now slowly lifting yourself back up, lifting those glutes up, changing to that left hand side, dropping over as you extend that right leg, and leaning all the way back as you lift those hips up towards the sky. Now slowly extending that left leg, bringing arms overhead as you lie in that supine position. Let's take a deep inhale and exhale, slowly rolling yourself up into seated. Looking forward to seeing you in that next video. My hamstrings and my quads, and actually the rest of my body is feeling so nice and loose. I'm ready for a beautiful, energized day. I will see you in the next video.